Whatever this thing is, it's the new cute mascot for build divers. Naturally, Ayame has to make a transparent attempt to pretend that she doesn't care about the cute things, but they still have plenty of money left, build coins, whatever you want to call it, so they have some different ideas. Riku wants to get a mobile suit hangar for their force, which would benefit everybody. Koichi wants to get a special warp gate to Parisia, which is a bit more selfish, but Parisia is a long way away, and this does kind of benefit everybody because it's the Gunpla customization capital of GBN. So Yuki's ideas are buy a statue that does nothing, that's not even really related to their force, buy a movie theater, or this kind of puts Momo's ideas for real estate, costumes, and pets into perspective. In fact, it's Momo who suggests that they should take all their build coins and buy their own private island, which at first seems ridiculous, but then you realize that it's got its own cabin, so that could be their new force nest, and they want to turn this into a sort of island resort, so it's somewhat understandable.
今回私が所有する島の買い手として2つのフォースが名乗りを上げてくれたことは非常に喜ばしい限りである。
And since this is Gundam Build Divers, rather than trying to outbid each other, the two forces are gonna settle this in a force battle. The main difference for the force battle in this episode is that it's much more like a video game. Attacks don't cripple the enemy Gunpla, and everything's based on hit points. So if you lose all your hit points, you just go back to start, there's a cooldown period, and then you get right back into the battle. The in-universe explanation is that the person selling the island wanted this to be a fair fight. He wanted it to be interesting. This also has an added benefit for the episode because now we can ignore character shields. After a quick montage of Riku's force preparing for the force battle, it's off to the island.
私がオーダーのラキュラだ。よろしく。
はじめまして。ビルドダイバーズの。
知っておる。
Yeah, this guy knows all about their accomplishments. The Coalition victory, the Lotus Challenge. That's the big revelation for this episode. Their opponents are Ayame's old force. Everybody's got their own personality. Hiro's is mostly, I'm so excited, we can win this! Hey Ayame, check out how much better I've gotten at GBN! The twins are obviously supposed to be immature, and thankfully the show doesn't do this so much that it gets annoying. I can actually see some interesting potential if they had sibling-themed Gunpla. But I guess having an RX-78 in a new Gundam works too. This is Ripu, and she's the voice of reason. I like her. Miyu starts off as comic relief jump scare, but by the end of the episode, it's revealed that she was actually just really nervous about meeting Riku and the rest of the build divers because she's nervous. It's nice that the show acknowledges that some people have real-world obligations, so they can't play video games as much as they'd like to. Unfortunately, it's in the same scene as this line. I was just assuming Ayame's old force had been earning points through various accomplishments. Instead, the show decides to take away that sense of accomplishment by just saying, oh, we got these points by playing the lottery. Now, I wanted to be thorough for this review, so I did a little bit of research, and it turns out that yes, Japan does have lotteries. However, lottery revenue in the country has actually been going down for the past few years, especially among young people, and I am not going to draw any conclusions from that whatsoever. This battle doesn't really have any special fight choreography, it's fairly basic, but it still works because it starts by establishing that these SD Gundams have an advantage because they're small and maneuverable. This is later clarified by one of the spectators that yes, this is the reason for the special rules. The strength of this battle is how they're able to keep it mostly believable, while still incorporating various slapstick elements. For example, Momo charges in, to a minefield, and then back to the more serious tactics. Momo just saved Koichi by accident, and then we get to see her reaction. We get a bit of a montage to show how the battle's progressing, and some more comic relief from Momo. Riku's force is being pushed back, and that's when Hiro decides to use their ultimate technique. This wouldn't have worked in a serious episode, so it's a good thing this isn't a serious episode. Riku is able to be all heroic by saving his friends with the wings, and while the show doesn't actually say this, it's possible that Riku's able to recover because of the special rules. Normally, I would think burning out one of your reactors would make Transam difficult, but he pulls it off just fine. Their special move is for Riku to kick Momo's little mini Gunpla like a soccer ball. And yes, this was part of that special training from the previous episode. Tension builds as Riku and Ayame head towards the flag. The SD Gundam Force respawns and heads to intercept, leading to... Nobody was paying attention to the fact that Momo was right next to the flag. This could be interpreted as anticlimactic and a bit of a plot contrivance that Riku would kick Momo right next to the flag, but I like to think of it as a comedic ending that subverts expectation. And with that, the build divers buy the island, they're friends with the SD Gundam Force, and you're probably wondering why Maggie's here. Maggie just needed to tell them about alliances and raid battles. Except Maggie didn't tell them about raid battles. And after the closing credits, Build Divers is nice enough to show us the bird. This is an episode where GBN is treated more like a conventional video game with conventional video game rules. Nobody's questioning Ayame's loyalty, this is just a friendly competition. The only problem I have with the episode is the lottery, specifically how it's presented. The SD Gundam Force won the lottery, so I guess we're gonna buy an island now. All the show needed to do was say that the lottery winnings, combined with the points that the SD Gundam Force already had, gave them what they needed to try to buy the island. Maybe this is more appealing to people who actually play the lottery, and to be fair, the lottery plot point doesn't hurt the episode too much, so I'll just say this is a fun, lighthearted episode with some interesting comedic elements. This is the Hypervisor, signing off.